candle from apparently nowhere.
Yes.
And it whispers with the ancient power of countless abuelas who are very unhappy.
Yes.
Go ahead and click on La Chancla. It's going to start at the top, and as soon as one of them makes their save, it'll stop. You're underneath, you know, wrench, screwdriver, acetylene torch, and you manage to disconnect. Now you're gonna have to get it over all these traps and pits and stuff. But on the other hand, you have a flying barbarian.
You have a flying.
Yep, flying barbarian. Oh, that's exactly how we're gonna implement the ballista, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here I thought you were gonna attach it to the ship, but no.
No.
I
Flying
am
Valkyrie
the ship,
style.
baby.
Oh yeah.
Airstrike. Yeah, you tricked the host.
We're gonna roll into Avernus, and we're not gonna actually have any kind of like doom buggy. We're all gonna be riding on top of just Crozet floating around riding a ballista.
How did you get a blip? No, it's just a flying door.
Fly me close up. I want to hit them with my sword.
Who are we?
The companions of the Crimson Chain. All right.
Oh my god, he's like so smart.
And Tarsamore also saved. So yeah, the woman is the only one who suffered in this. We live in a
The
fucking
woman's
society.
the dumb one. Oh, the dice. Dice
That's
is sexist.
okay. How a chain is only as strong as its weakest link when it comes to rituals.
Oh, now women are weak. I love this campaign.
Wait, what do you?
We have reached 100% kiss boy density after they attack each other.
I had one thing left to do, and now she's getting frustrated because this motherfucker not listening. So, as like maybe blood is coming out of her nose or something from
Only a little.
necrotic damage, we'll just kind of start laughing, and we'll place the open book on her face like a mask, and say, "You will be alone just like me," in the exact word that Seosh said in that one time. Leaving you with a nice little cliffhanger.
Yeah, okay, bye.
What's happening?
Okay, so I had some idea that you were going to do something, but I never thought for a moment about using the book as a Vox mask. I have no idea what that does. I have not.
I don't know either.
Foggy.
Waves the crypto boy's body. This one yours?
I'm Fiat.
Yeah, this is the crypto boy.
Yes, that one's ours. You can just go ahead and leave him there.
Oh, okay. Drops him.
Also, disclaimer, chat, also not dead.
So do I see both Crystal Pirate and Artificer?
Yes, and 4 ninjas.
Which one of you two is more important? Or who's the boss?
Hey, who's the biggest bully at school? Which one of you is it?
Crystal Pirate like
Woke right up
floats.
into my secret base.
He's standing on
Punch
this
my
like little
biggest-
crystal thing, and he's just floating there, looking at you with all these colorful crystals floating around him.
I guess I'm the majority share owner, so that would be me.
Alright, I attack whoever said that. Who said that?
Here, what the fuck is that?
Don't worry about that. Oh no, actually, I you can worry about that now. I mentioned it. That's the nigh invulnerable kraken that shipwrecked you on this island.
What?
Yeah, but he's fine now. He's just minding his own business, chilling,
okay,
going around in the ring.
Okay. He's friendly, right?
I'll get back to you on that one, Haruka.
Wait! Don't switch the. My apologies, sir. What's your name? I go by Haruka,
We
by
are
the
the
way.
Buffomorphs. I am Buffo, and these are the morphs.
Hello, Buffo, and hello, Morphs.
I'm not
We are
going to say
here
it.
to commune with our sacred idol. It gives us great insight into the spiritual oneness of all things.
I won't say it.
What's your secret idol?
It's
I
sacred,
won't
not.
fucking say it.
It's right. What is the toaster going
I'm
on
gonna
about
say
now?
it.
I'm gonna cover Zen's mouth. Don't listen to her.
I'm gonna fucking say it.
I'm covering Zen's mouth. I'm covering.
Boofa D's nuts.
Roll for initiative.
Make a DC 21 dex save.
Cool.
Ooh, he's
Roll
bad at those.
12d10.
Yo.
Sheesh. Ah, cool.
Yeah, that's me after eating a mild curry.
I know, it's coming out of his butt.
That's true. Wait. Flip it around. Flip me around.
Flip me around.
There we go.
Flip, there we go.
67 points of damage.
All right.
Then tell me everything you believe may have occurred.
You ever heard of the ass snake?
I don't know.
Oh, he said ass snake.
I don't know what they preach where you come from, mortal, but that's not actually a problem. We don't really care. That's, whatever keeps being alive joyful, you keep being alive joyful. That's not my concern.
If I was hungry,
Yeah.
and I kind of feel like I am hungry, and I kind of feel like each of you would fit in my mouth, so I'm probably just gonna eat you. That just seems.
I mean, no. I mean, like, what else do you want to eat besides me? That's it. I'm gonna blast them. Oh, for fuck's sake!
And I'm gonna start with Miss Doubtfire over here.
Roll for initiative, please.
Son of a bitch! There is no way I can.
Weakened by the extra-dimensional force of the Akashic field, this final attack strikes the Kraken, and it slumps, reeling in its... My God, it's happening again. It keeps on happening over and over. The faces, the numbers, what do they mean? I'm tormented by gnomes.
Numbers, Mason.
The numbers, Mason.
I don't think any of us are called Mason, though, so...
No, we're not.
No. I didn't even know this was the intro. I thought something was going wrong.
Time to multi-class into Mason.
Exactly. Yeah, this is our 5th edition dimension hopping campaign called Coriander Society. I'm tormented by gnomes. I'm the dungeon master. We have Beatdown Boulevard, Josie, and LaFont. Beatdown. What's new?
Nothing.
Excellent. Josie, how are things?
Things are busy. I have no time. but mostly good.
Okay, somewhere between the two, we're going to combine your 2 lives and like, do some alchemy, and then
Oh, we
achieve
can balance it
balance.
out a little bit.
Yeah, my mom always says the universe does achieve balance, but it's not evenly distributed. It's through extremes in different areas.
I can have Beatdown take my botany exam.
I'm sure
sometime.
I'm sure I will fail. Please don't make me do that.
You can't make me go back. What's going on?
I spent 7.5 hours in character creation over the last 3 days.
Oh, are you playing Expedition 33?
Oh no! So okay, that's I have been, but that's not why 7.5 hours. But Expedition 33, I'm in Act 2 now. I think towards the end of Act 2. Very good game. Highly recommend. If you haven't played it, you should play it.
I know. I want to so bad soon. I'm waiting for a
Nothing
sale.
but good things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 7.5 hours in character creation. Good times. I still have at least another 3 to go.
So, first off, Cyberpunk Red is a different system, and the lack of familiarity makes it take longer too, right? With you got a bunch of players who are new to the system. Back in
I was also mean to
3.5
them.
days. It was also what?
I was also mean to them by giving them just too many things.
Okay, you're too generous. It's like when the character, like, what are your character flaws? She's too beautiful and too kind, so everyone hates her.
What are your weaknesses in a job interview? I work too hard.
You know what the problem
I
is?
just
though?
have too much attention to detail.
Too loyal to the company to the
The
point
problem
where
is, I could genuinely use that as an excuse, or like at whatever. What are your flaws? I work too hard. I do. I actually do. I'm a workaholic, and it's a problem.
Like,
it's not sustainable.
That's the problem.
They don't have to know that I think it's a problem.
Yep.
Fair enough.
All right, this is not the podcast. We did the podcast like 15 minutes ago. We got to move forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate playing games with friends who are interesting and smart. It's the worst.
You know what's going to happen with these days? Last thought before we get in. We're going to get into the game, and then the characters are going to have a podcast. And
At that point, I can't stop you. I can't stop
Meta
you.
podcast.
Dungeon Master.
Wait a minute. I'm the dungeon master. I can drop bombs on you. I can't stop you.
Wait,
What?
a D&D game that's a podcast and all the encounters are the ads.
Funny.
That's so meta. You pitch it, we'll run it.
Oh my god, you encounter a Hello Fresh.
I do actually have a campaign setting that's like in the internet, and they have stat for spam and viruses and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Like chain. This was back in the early 2000s, so it was a lot more like chain letters and stuff like that. You know.
Oh, like emails asking you if
Yeah.
you want to put your house in escrow and
That kind of stuff. They all had stat blocks. It was great. Our heroes have traveled to another universe. Here on the distant planet of Lacunis, isolated from the entire galaxy. On a world of technology invaded by magic, they seek solutions both magical and technological to the imminent threat facing an entire solar system universes away. To stop the mind flayers from overwhelming the entire system of Pyrespace, they must travel 80,000 light years away to the Penumbra, the ancient capital of the Illithid Empire, and retrieve an anti-psionic weapon called the Annulus. But to reach that distance is beyond their current power. They have concocted a plan. It's slightly complicated. It has a few steps, but the next step is going to this city and meeting up with a bigwig here and asking him for some sorium, which is an incredibly precious material with psychic properties. Our heroes are on board the ship that the Bayard, a ship that belongs to the Red Cross Knights, an organization of sci-fi paladins who fight dragons, because this world also has dragons. You are approaching the city. The city is inside of a mountain, and not like NORAD. It's more like there was a valley, and they just filled the whole valley. So it goes from the floor of the valley up to the mountain peaks with technology, levels, all this sort of different things. Coming in, there are tons and tons of scanning stations, radar stations, surface-to-air missile batteries, gun turrets. It's just like the closer you get, there's just rings and rings and rings of defense around this place. The city itself does not have a huge diameter or massive radius because it goes deep more than anything else. The only proper approach is to fly above it and then descend down into the city, exposing any would-be attackers to the hundreds of different weapons and defensive systems pointed inwards. But once you actually are descending into this valley, into this pit, with layer upon layer, you see hanging gardens and artificial waterfalls and beautiful glass architecture, soaring Gothic-style cathedrals. This is a place built with high technology, but with a very ornate sense of the past. It shows clear signs of beauty and of pride. There are statues everywhere, there are huge monuments everywhere, and hover cars zooming back and forth, hover monorails and other things. It's a very, very densely packed area. As you descend downwards, your host, Athenius Voskii, is doing his best to contain his apprehension, as you're going to see his father, Prince Casimir Voskii. Voskii is a principality. That means Casimir is in charge of it. He runs the whole thing. Athenius left his father and his birthright in order to join the knights traveling across Lacunas helping people. He does not see eye to eye with his father, so he is not going to go with you. His plan right now is the only person who's going with you is Manda. And the rest of you who I need to put on this next map. Do you have any questions before you begin your final descent and landing?
So right now it's just the three of us, right? And Manda, because Medwithin and the other crew they're on a different mission.
No, I don't think you sent Medwithin away, did you?
Because she's the one who was like going to be able to get the negotiations with for the funding from our Pyrespace contacts.
Right, but she does not have an immediate way to get back.
Okay.
Because teleportation circle does not work. So she can do that, but she needs to be able to go back first. So for the time being, still with you. Any other questions? No?
There's just a small, tiny little whiteboard that pops out of my wrist with our very complicated threads and rings and post-it notes and such.
All right, keeping track of everything. The vessel lands, descending into a particularly well-defended pit. The pit turns into its metal and docking bays and different places for ships to go. It's so compact that you can tell that the Voskii build their vessels for vertical liftoff. Like they're all designed for that sort of stacked travel. As you descend down this shaft, you can see that up ahead, beyond the graded landing pad, is a long platform. It goes out of the hangar and then out into the open air towards an enormous. The only way you can describe it, it's a castle. It's a mansion. It's a manor house. It's got huge waterfalls and just imposing, towering doors that are way, way taller than they have to be. And as the vessel sets down upon the landing pad, and you can feel the shock from the landing gear just before the ramp starts to drop and you're able to depart, you can see a group walking towards you. All of them in heavy power armor. And I have a map. Behold. Also, mecha. Giant robots. They stand towering above all of you. The only thing that's like close to as tall as them in this area is the ship itself.
Does it look like there's someone sitting in it, controlling it?
Yes. Roll technology check. Single pilot, neural link. They're not sitting there pushing a bunch of levers and stuff. They're directly neurally connected to it.
Aha, interesting.
They all have swords and shields. Well, they can have swords. They appear to have projectors for some sort of massive energy weapon. And they are clearly designed with both combat efficiency and ceremony in mind to look like the knights of old. Not of Ascus, not of Earth, but of some other long-lost culture. But the ideal of the armored champion on the battlefield, representing royalty and chivalry and such, is clearly visible. Any other questions as this group approaches you?
No, but I will excuse me. Oh my. I will
Die, apparently.
Yeah, that was weird. I can't remember the last time that has happened. I will shuffle slightly so I'm behind Medwithin and De La Reese, and kind of let them take kind of the initial greeting.
Okay. They stop at the edge of this long, ornate walkway, not deigning to step upon the grid work in the more industrial area up ahead. As they stop, some of the armored knights step aside. Between them, you see a finely dressed man. He is wearing, it's like a suit, really. It really is just like a really nice formal suit. Incredibly subtle for the most part. Very, very small amounts of jewelry. Casimir Voskii. His appearance belies his age, thanks to the advances in technology, medical abilities, and psionic power relevant to the Voskii. Casimir stands before you and spreads his hands out, and when he speaks, his voice is amplified somehow. Gastone! So good to see you again. You are always welcome here. Please. And he gestures for you to approach.
Then I will approach, because I assume for him to hear me, I'd have to be like, hi!
Yep. All right. The rest of the party just sort of follows along with Gastone. And I accidentally shift the whole ship around because it's a huge token.
Wait, seriously.
Any friend of Gastone's is a friend of the Voskii. Please, be welcome here. Each of you. Shall we walk?
Roll
go
a
ahead.
wisdom save. Oh no.
Ah, it's not just women. Interesting.
Oh no.
Um,
I'm just gonna kind of stay behind a little bit.
Okay.
Just like trailing behind, just like, oh no. Don't make direct eye contact.
He approaches Medwithin. Yeah, he's not going to step off the red carpet, but he's going to step back to make room for you on the red carpet.
What a gentleman.
Medwithin approaches, and I can't remember if they've met, so either they exchange a very chivalrous, pleasant, good to see you again, or he asks her to introduce himself and does the whole, charmed, wonderful.
Yeah, kiss the hand, all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Her clad hand.
Yeah, he takes it. He's just like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
There's no way that Medwithin hasn't had some sort of like, minor image over her hands at this point.
And then he, with his entire retinue of Voskii knights, will walk down the entire way. It's a very long passageway. It's a huge ass bridge, clearly designed to sort of focus the grandeur of this place directly on anybody who is walking through it. He's making small talk for the time being with Gastone. What news has transpired since last we met? I'm sure you've been on some fascinating adventures. And I'm sure you remember them if you have. I'm sure that that Gastone remembers them.
Of course he does. You
Mhm.
know, nothing as exciting as what brought us here the first time. I'll say that. And also probably what's brought us here now.
I cannot wait to hear. I would never turn down a social visit, of course, but usually when Mr. Tosto arrives, it means that change is not far behind.
You know, I got to work on that sometime.
Change is not bad.
True, but I wouldn't mind exploring and going places in a more relaxed capacity. I just haven't done that yet.
More social visits rather than
Yes,
necessary
exactly. Remember
visits.
when you
Business
said that?
visits.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that a social visit would be a change for you too.
Ah, true. But we are people of action. We rarely set aside time to think of such things. If we don't have our sights set on our next accomplishment, our next enemy. I
True that.
understand. Still, Voskii may not still be here were it not for your intervention. So the city and its delights are always waiting for you here. I'm just going to go ahead and gather everyone together and move us to the residence. Passing through, you get a better view of more of the city. This is, again, a highly fortified area, but also a soaring vista, which I'm refreshing right now because I had a glitch. But at last, you arrive in the palace gardens. Overlooking other areas of the city far below. This area has been deliberately constructed to provide long, clear lines of sight, both improving the view and ensuring that any snipers that happen to be protecting the residents have an unobscured lock. He does not fully dismiss his guards, but his loyal knights are standing watch at the various corners of the area. We'll go ahead and gather all of you by the fountain, and then one by one he'll go to each of you and properly introduce himself. I am Casimir Voskii, Prince of the House of Voskii, Master of Voskii, a friend of Gastone Tostos. And he'll address that first at... All right. Both Delaris and Yasmin were trying to, not take points. Who does he get to first?
I think, are you still suffering from negative effects?
Probably.
I will step in front and sort of. How has he greeted everyone up to this point? Has there been handshakes or anything of that nature?
He's done a short, graceful bow, and when Zomkug didn't offer a hand, he just kind of did sup.
Okay.
Ben Koval also didn't really return a hand. He seems to more be mirroring.
I would like to match whatever gesture he made precisely. So whatever angle of bow it is returned identically. And a pleasure. The name is Yasmin.
Yes. No, if you're going to talk, he's going to let you talk. He's not dealing with any mic delay.
Yeah. The pleasure truly is mine.
Don't speak so soon. We've only just barely met. You could be entirely wrong.
Under normal circumstances, by this point, we either are in more pleasant company or in combat. So I trust. So on the whole, I think I am actually a little bit more correct than perhaps you guess.
Then I'm happy to be a change of pace. He gives.
If
Sorry,
it's,
go ahead. Yasmin.
if it's not too much of an issue, my friend has had a concern recently. Would it be okay if I were to use some of my skills to make it easier for her?
Of course, I want nothing more than my guests to be perfectly comfortable.
This is not an assault in regard, and I will cast calm emotions here to generally make it easier for Delaris.
Yes, means a true BFF.
As that effect, are you trying to target? You can target everybody. Are you trying to target everybody?
No. This is specifically for Delaris. It's not a general effect. Though, you know what I'll do? I will target everyone on my team that I can reach.
Okay. Whoop, too big.
Calm everybody's emotions.
They will know what this spell is because I've used it before. And I've used it in this context, so up to them if they choose to refuse or not.
Okay. Having done that, he's going to go ahead and approach Delaris and give a low bow. I'd hate to think that I'd caused you any distress or discomfort.
Oh, it's nothing that you need to worry about. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. And she's gonna give kind of like a theatrical bow.
Friends of Gastone Tosto usually come from very far away.
You could definitely say that. We've definitely been traveling quite a bit to find ourselves here.
You must have wondrous tales to tell. You must have seen fantastic beauty.
And everything else in between, actually. We've been to hell. And back, quite literally.
And we'll probably go again.
Hell, I think... That's not something that any of us were raised to know about. It doesn't appear in any of our stories, but from the ones that I've heard, that's a very impressive feat on your part.
I think it was more John than us.
I suppose there is one ilk that we have in common that we've definitely fought before. Seems that dragons are perhaps an issue in more than one place.
Quite so. Quite so, I'm afraid.
I wonder if dragon evolution is like crab evolution in that in all places, all roads eventually lead to dragon evolution.
Well, they did not evolve here. I can assure you of that. But they have managed to flourish. It's very impressive on their part.
How did they get here?
From Pyre space. They followed us back, drawn by the cord of our own ambitions. Our ancestors' ambitions. My people lay no claim to these sins. But yes, the experiments of our forebears linked us to another place, filled with the magic that I find so fascinating. But it was a two-way door, and so we stepped into the magic, and the magic stepped back into us. And the dragons came with it. For the last 200 years, the Voskii have been the champions and protectors of the people of Lacunas, ensuring that we can remain free of the Ulhar rule, of the dragons who would be our overlords, adding us to their hordes like simple baubles.
Honestly, it could be much worse than dragons.
He looks over at Gastone. Oh, it can be. Of that I'm sure.
I'll just nod slightly.
Keeping kind of an eye out as we have this kind of discussion. How is Manda reacting to kind of being in this area?
She kind of has a flat affect almost all the time. It's very hard to get a read on her at all. Just kind of resting face.
An engineer after my own heart.
Roll an insight check with disadvantage, please. Anyone else who's trying to get the read on Manda is welcome to do so, but it's not like a mandatory skill check. This is just a fluff check.
It's not a mandatory check.
I didn't mean to do that. That was an accident. That was an accident.
It's the best one.
Don't tase me.
The best one. Oh, wait.
Strike the GM down for the puns he so desperately despises.
So careful.
Jack, can we get disadvantage for the DM? Yeah, she's just basically, it's like her expression almost never changes. The main change you ever see is focus. Like when her focus shifts, it goes from like wide picking up information to locked in on one thing.
Gastone, Delarice, and Casimir, not to rush our conversation, as this has been truly a pleasure to be able to stand and talk to like-minded individuals. But time is of the essence. And while it hurts me to say this, I do believe we need to move forward with our business at hand.
Of course. Great people rarely have time for the little pleasures of life. But we savor them where we can. Now, what brings you to Voskii?
Well, what do you know about the Illithid?
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't think.
Then we'll give you the abridged version and ask for details as you may need. Psychic, people-eating monsters in a galaxy far, far away. And I cannot stress the far in far, far away, which is basically why we're here. While we're capable of constructing, a great many things between the group of us, the problem that we're lacking is something that will allow us to travel many, many light years in a short amount of time. We're working with only 6 months. And basically, since taking on this mission, it became our understanding that we're the need of, what were they called, void engines?
Mm-hmm.
That we would need something called a void engine, which can only be fueled with void crystals, and the only way for us to be able to approach a black hole in any reasonable amount of time is to get a Sorium engine. Yeah.
Yes. I'm familiar with the concept, but no such device has been constructed on Lacunas in the last 200 to 10,000 years, depending on your frame of reference. How much do you require? I don't think that's in your notes, but you would know.
It's not. Oh, sure. Then X amount.
He kind of looks at you sharply for the first time. Not angry, but just like focusing.
Mm-hmm.
See. Your need is great, and many lives hang in the balance, I assume.
I think an indicator of the vastness of our request is married only in kind to a need of equal or greater value.
The Voskii retained their freedom from the Ulhar overlords in the aftermath of our isolation through the power of Sorium. It was those who had undergone espergenesis and were able to wield its power who became our knights, our defenders and champions, able to stand against a dragon. their armies, their magic, and over time, their mastery of our own technology. The very survival of and freedom of my people is predicated on what we have remaining. There was a time long ago when it was not plentiful, but it permeated the entire galaxy. I don't know. No, I suspect nobody knows who built the crucibles and spread them out throughout all the various systems, but they are each of them a source of this miraculous substance and a means of traversing intergalactic distances. But for reasons that you and I both understand very well, Gastone, we no longer have access to anything outside this system, perhaps even this planet. And we are therefore entirely unable to restore any thorium that is lost. So the weight of the matter lies heavily upon all of us, yes?
Yes.
Incidentally, Gastone, have you made any progress on that particular inconvenience?
Which inconvenience?
The chronophage, I believe, was the technical term.
Ah. Some. It's mostly theoretical. Nothing working yet. As convenient as it may sound, this whole experience may actually provide useful knowledge and insight on whether or not this idea could actually work. Specifically, the part involving us traveling to the center of a black hole.
If we had some way of believing that our connection to the crucibles would one day be restored sooner rather than later, then of course my people could bear the burden of making ourselves that much more vulnerable to the Ulhar. I hope you understand. This is not a matter of greed. It is a matter of my obligation as protector and prince of the Voskii.
Of course. That's why, even if you directly can't help us, surely there has to be a way. What if we restored the crucible? What would that take? How long would it take?
None can say. None can look past our prison on this world.
Right. Who else has access? Do the Ulhar?
No. No. Only the three principalities. And you've had little to no dealings with the others. Whereas you saved Voskii from nuclear annihilation.
If I may interrupt, do you have a star map of where the crucibles lie?
No. That information was stored in one of the most advanced research facilities that remained upon Lacunas. The same facility that gave rise to the program calling itself Exarch.
That means Exarch might know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
The sharpness in his voice there is this something that he's let slip accidentally?
No. You were rapidly getting the impression that Casimir doesn't do things accidentally.
To be fair, becoming the prince of something of this ilk seems... Are my communications with the Exarch destroyed?
No.
I'm going to try and reach out to the Exarch. Keeping an eye out to see if anyone's reacting to it. Asking the same question. Do you have the star map for the crucibles?
Yes. I've been running calculations for the last 200 years to account for galactic drift during the time of the anomaly.
Can I have that information?
Uploading. And Exarch uploads it to you. And let me see. This is actually something cool. We've been doing adventures in this particular world for like over a decade, but this is the first time any player has ever seen this.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yes. The chronophage is simply around Lacunas, right?
As far as everyone here understands.
So it is theoretically that there is a boundary outside the chronophage that is still free in the movement of time.
Yes, though that information is not available. Exarch's theory is that the chronophage was feeding solely upon this system.
Okay.
And that theory seems to be matched by astronomical information. Basically, Lacuna stayed literally still, not just like it wasn't spinning with the galaxy or any of that other stuff. So it's displaced by 10,000 light. 10,000 years.
Okay. The thought process is this. Casimir, Prince Casimir, is the just to make sure I've got the title correctly. Okay. Yasmin has the information. This is me, the player. That's.
Oh yeah. It's Prince Casimir.
Yeah. If you would let me confer with my friend about a piece of information that I may have, would you give us a moment, please?
Take all the time that you have.
I will smile at the. Well, I won't smile. My eyes will glow gently at the implication of the time that you have in recognition of it, or in acceptance of it, and then turn to gently shepherd Gastone and Delarice Medwithin. I'm going to take. No, I won't. I will let Manda, who she still has access to my communicator with, so if she wants to message me, she can. Shouldering everyone just gently aside to kind of talk to individually in a very low tone. Next time, remind me to set up our link. We don't have the time now, but something to remember in the future. Second, is it theoretically possible to step outside this plane, outside this universe, and then travel back to a location that isn't Lacunas? Assuming we had a location to step to.
I guess that, I mean, isn't that kind of a similar question to whether we could do that with Penumbra too? Because I feel like if we could do that, we could do that for Penumbra.
Roll a Arcana check.
Ooh.
12.
That's the second time I've rolled twice today, and that's the second time I've rolled a 12.
26.
Okay. Here is what you know about the universe that Lacunas occupies. And Gastone would be pretty familiar with this stuff too, because he's studied this stuff for ages. It is a separate universe from almost like a separate, it's not quite a separate multiverse, but it's almost a separate multiverse. Separate prime material plane. Magic works here. They don't have it endemically for some reason. There's no records of anybody ever wielding it, but when magical creatures arrived here, magic still worked. You also know that there is a color pool from the astral plane that leads here to Lacunas. So it is possible to travel through the astral plane and get to Lacunas, meaning that it is not completely isolated from the rest of the universe. So unless Lacunas itself exists in some sort of odd pocket where the rules have changed, if the rest of the galaxy follows the same rules, then the rest of the galaxy should be it should be possible to go elsewhere.
Okay.
The experiments that they were conducting that eventually led them to Ashen and Pyre Space were effectively traveling via technological rather than magical means. But yeah, that's what you know.
Okay.
I have a slightly different line of thinking, but I don't know if I know enough about how it works.
Your character knows a lot. What do you have in mind?
Well, the chronophage, is there any way we could harness that to travel?
That seems exceptionally dangerous. But assuming we get past the exceptional danger, maybe.
What do you have in mind? Because the chronophage is not well understood. It is a non-corporeal. It is an entity. It's not just a phenomenon. It feeds on time. That's what chronophage, time eater.
Right, because I'm trying to think, like, if the problem with getting to Penumbra is the time it takes to travel, but I'm kind of missing the formula in between that.
Roll science. If you're bringing this up to the party, then they can roll science checks. Gastone, remember, you're a super genius.
I'll bring that up to them. All right, nerds.
I definitely had my
Oh,
turn
no!
the whole time, guys, I promise. Let's see what we got here. I have advantage on science rolls, right?
Super genius.
I love this class.
I'm trying to think if there's a way I can get advantage just to at least break the natural one.
Do you still have inspiration? I gave everybody inspiration.
Bardic inspiration doesn't break a natural one.
Yeah.
Oh.
GG.
Chronophage. Problem is, it's the chronophage specifically. If it had been anything else related to travel, I would have been able to look through my notes, but I have not spent enough time with the chronophage to give myself a reasonable backbone.
Gastone is also the person who's collected the majority of the information on the chronophage itself. All right, monsters, elder evils, chronophage. Just make sure.
It's one of those.
How does something get old? How does something get old if it eats time, though?
Elder evil is more of a classification than an actual, judge of age. All right.
Is it immune to charm?
That probably. Yeah.
All I need to do is get to a place where I can see the chronophage so I can analyze its weaknesses.
That you would be allowed to do that. You could probably make the check too. It'd probably be the highest check you've had to make so far.
Yeah, that's fair.
The chronophage was accidentally summoned or created because there are two major types of testing going on Lacunas. One was messing with space and the other was messing with time. Mess with time, time messes back. They accidentally activated the chronophage. With the major law about time is that time does not like to go backwards. It is most of the examples of time magic and time travel that go backwards are like 6 seconds. The Omega 13 from Galaxy Quest, they're small because you can't just like push all the way backwards. That being said, if the chronophage can alter time in some way, it is possible that you could use that to accomplish faster than light travel. The problem, most likely, unless you did a lot of stuff, is that you would subjectively still take, from your perspective, tens of thousands of years. But it could be a second for everyone else, depending on the exact nature of it. So you need some sort of cryo, right? And you need to make sure that the ship can... But you'd be moving faster than anything else in the universe, so nothing would really catch you during that time, but you'd be isolated for X years. That is, you have no idea how to contain it, but it's absolutely theoretically possible.
Gastone, has the chronophage changed its patterns in the interim? I hesitate to use the word time because its scale is so gargantuan that
yes,
it's meaningless.
Gastone, as far as you know,
okay,
it froze the Lacuna system for 10,000 years. Then that stasis wore off 200 years ago, and it is still there, sort of surrounding the system. But you haven't noticed it doing much of anything else.
Yeah.
The only other people who are concerned about it are the Vignar, the assassins who used to work for the Dragon God of Undeath, who now work for the Dragon God Cronessus the Watcher.
There is another,
go ahead.
There is another point to bring up here, is that the location we're going to that has the annulus is a location that likely has ties to the same researchers that caused all of this in the beginning.
Really?
Or at least there may be an opportunity to do so. Remember, the ship that the Illithid encountered was of Lacuna's origin, or of the origin from which, long story short, there's some details I'm missing out, but for the most part, what I'm saying is accurate.
Yes.
And this is something that, as far as I know, no one here knows about except you.
Casimir knows.
I was gonna say.
Casimir knows because he's talked with Gastone and John before. He's learned about Pyrespace. He's learned about the other side and what ultimately happened to the former Lacunians over there.
He also doesn't know that that's what we're looking for.
Correct.
So, you know, a lever to be used at some point if required. But anyway, the point I was trying to bring up is this. If we can get access to the Sorium via the Crucibles for ourselves, and then give that access to the Voskii, this would solve two of our problems. Get the materials we need, and make a closer tie with an ally. Keep them in your debt.
I want to emphasize that if the Voskii had access to a new source of Sorium, depending on the scale of that access, it could drastically shift the balance of power on Lacunas. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I just want to make sure that the ramifications are clear.
Oh, 100%. Yasmin is like, you don't offer... This is like offering an individual a gold mine. Offering a country essentially infinite power. It's a big it's a big amount of...
Yeah.
Besides, I never told the Exarch what I was using the star map for.
True.
Make no promises you can't keep. Tell no lies if you can't get away with them.
Let me know if you want to see a different map or if you wish to engage with... Ooh, go ahead.
Regardless, this is something to think about in terms of what we came to accomplish. But we should start putting some direction on our conversation here to at least get something out of this conversation right now. Besides, we don't want to leave our host for too long.
Wait, so what are we trying to do here with the chronophage? Is that still on the table?
I think that's a longer term discussion, but keep in mind that he hasn't said no. If this was already a line of no discussion, there would have been a refusal outright. He wants something from us to even consider a request of this great magnitude.
I mean, yeah, I think that was just the assumption.
I want to hear what it is.
Okay, we can ask.
Is he getting? He was about to like step in on our conversation, right?
And
Okay.
one experience. Woo! Oh, he can't.
Wait, he plus 1 XP.
There we go.
He was not about to step into your conversation. I was about to step in on your conversation. He is a man of infinite patience. Or if his patience runs out, he makes it known through less gauche means. Like assassins.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I would prefer if he made the request to us. They're on the back foot right now, and we have not made an offer that we can't keep. I want to see what his estimation of our power is. He knows yours. He doesn't know ours.
Okay. I'm going to ask. I'm going to turn to Prince Casimir and say, okay, I'm just going to get right to it. Well, what do you want?
Your direct approach has solved many a problem, Gastone, and I hold you in great respect for it. This parting with a significant amount of thorium enough to power this vessel would leave my people vulnerable and at a disadvantage. It is my obligation to ensure that that vulnerability is amended.
How?
I won't bandy words with you, Gastone. I respect you too much for that. Taking steps to assist me in ensuring the continuation of my bloodline and therefore the security of the Voskii throne is one possibility. I also want it to be known, by the way, this is me talking ex cathedra, that science on Lacunis is sufficiently advanced that a child can be created from any two genetically compatible, as in both human or both similar partners. So you can do it the old-fashioned way, but if two husbands love each other very much, instead of adopting or doing surrogacy, they can just make a clone with both of their DNA. So it is their child. That's happened a few times in the Voskii family tree, just to ensure that the child is like still a descendant of the family line. But yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities in that regard. That is one possibility that he has raised.
Okay. I only laugh because I literally like one of those like hand to forehead. Whatever happened with that gala?
Oh, I'm bad at planning things in real life.
Oh, I see.
Because I wanted to make it a big crossover thing, like with guest stars and almost making a dating game out of it and stuff. And I have yet to chase that particular vision seriously.
I see. Well, then I will pretend I never said that.
All good. All good.
Yeah. And instead ask, this. Out of curiosity, how would this make up for that?
Political power is as important as power.
Okay. It's definitely possible.
And of course, depending on the exact nature of a equal and peer in a spouse, that connection could have its own advantages as well. One is only as strong as those one keeps in close confidence.
Wait.
You have...
Go ahead, Drizzy.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
We know a princess
Do?
who might actually love traveling off-world.
Who?
Oh.
We do.
Indogalad's daughter, Adthea.
Yeah, Adthea.
You've met her, Gastone. It's been a while. It's been a long time for Beatdown, but you've met her.
I see.
I mean, she's already kind of been raised to rule a nation, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
How about a planet?
And she's smart enough to adjust to a different type of environment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
This line of thinking.
How's who?
Medwithin.
The wheels are turning. After all, Medwithin is many things, but one of those things is a courtier who knows how to play the game of base and reputation and social status. Her immediate first thought is that would leave the inheritance of the House of Fluris in question. She is King Indogalad's only daughter.
Unless they had 2 children.
True. Then in the event that Indogalad passed away and she was on Lacunis, arrangements would have to be made in such a way that Fluris's rivals don't overthrow them and seize power. There'd have to be a regency installed. These are not no's, and these are challenges that Medwithin is more than happy to assist with. This isn't more problems you have to solve, but she's just sort of laying out all these different possibilities. That said, if this was properly publicized, the prestige this could bring to both great houses would be otherworldly.
As kind of getting a kind of glance at Medwithin, my mind reaches a similar conclusion as yours, perhaps not as quickly and not as elegantly, but that therein lies the crux of the issue. Time.
Quite. It may be possible that our only collateral will be a promise. But the promise of one who has saved his city, he looks over at Gastone, carries more weight than others.
True.
I do, to Medwithin, I do have the individual in question. You know her better than most. Her views would be amicable on this front.
I cannot say with certainty the inner reaches of the princess's heart, but I can be absolutely certain that she'd be open to try. And excited.
I mean, okay, that's better.
Excitement for her is a bit different than anyone else, I suspect.
It's a low bar.
I once got her asking questions for 3 hours on the nature of a nail.
Fingernail or
no, a carpentry nail.
Oh.
I ignored her while I was working.
Okay.
Can I try messaging my recorder that is connected to her self? I don't know if it's going to work or not. I think we said it doesn't, but
yeah, it's not on the same network.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
100%. I think this is more of a, we're talking about this person. Let's try it because maybe something happened.
Right.
Okay.
And then when it doesn't, it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I like the idea. I think it might work. I think we should consider a backup just in case, because if I'm going to put some kind of guarantee towards this, I would like it to be concrete.
I mean, we can't speak for her and literally promise this guy
what I'm saying.
A bride, but like we can promise the introduction, and we can promise the introduction and also kind of put some weight behind it that we believe it is very favorable for the other party.
Has Medwithin considered has she tried sending? Does it work from this area?
Yes, it works from here.
Oh.
Why don't we just get a Medwithin, do you mind making that request and seeing if that is something that could... Let's check if that avenue is even open.
Agreed. Because
right,
one
she's
thing
gonna
to...
go...
Oh, sorry.
She's going to go do that.
I mean, I'll kill anyone that we need to, but promising
we might be evil.
We don't do that here.
But we don't do that.
We draw the line.
I'm totally okay with keeping millions of souls in purgatory for my own gain. That's fine. But promising someone's hand without their consent, that's too far.
Non-consensual marriage is the boundary we draw.
which when you think about it, is a very ridiculous logic.
Then don't think about it.
I mean, yes and no. As
there is zero consent with the souls being held in the thing either.
Yeah, but they at least get a fighting chance.
Do they?
Theoretically.
I think the difference here is that Yasmin has thought about the moral implications and doesn't care, and De La Reese is pretending the moral implications don't exist.
With the souls thing, yeah.
It's easy for me. Anthea's a friend. I'm not going to put a friend in that position.
Yeah.
My moral compass is infallible.
I don't know if I would put not a friend in that position.
Oh no, I'm saying Yasmin has made the
also-
calculation and is okay with it.
I mean, also putting Casimir in that position is also putting him in a bad position too.
I would. There's no way for me to do this elegantly, I don't think. Yes, I won't. Never mind.
By the way, while this is happening, I just want to say that I can't get the image out of my head, but when you talk about Yasmin's eyes lighting up and stuff based on emotion, I can't help but seeing. Do you guys remember those old Meowchi robots that would sing and their eyes would light up and become like hearts or like smiley eyes or
It's kind of funny because that has no cultural weight like in my memory. Mine was more like along the Bionicle lines.
Yeah. We talked about Bionicle on the show the first time around. I don't remember.
Bionicle is great. If ever you're bored, just a quick aside, and you have time, and I do mean time, go look at the lore. It's surprisingly intricate.
Mm-hmm. I've ended up on the wiki, on their wiki from time to time. I think from TV tropes. You know, speaking of rabbit holes. All right, so a lot of you are discussing the possibility of this making an arrangement on those grounds. You have not presented this to Casimir yet in a meaningful way.
Correct. In the interim, while Medwithin is kind of having that conversation to see what the because Casimir seemed to imply there was a second thing that he would have otherwise been waiting to kind of discuss.
He did do that.
And apologies, I believe you were about to mention a second avenue.
Were it anybody else talking, I would chalk it up to sheer fantasy, but the prospect of the world outside these confines has not escaped me. Were we to have access to a crucible, we would be able to part with any amount of sorium that was necessary.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a quick question. What kind of walking red flag is this guy that finding a bride is on the same level as space travel?
Roll a history check.
Oh no!
Or an insight check, your call.
Which one's better? Where is insight? Oh, history. 20.
Okay. He comes from a world who knows they had space travel. Like, their ancestors had space travel. Space travel is a solved problem. The chronophage is not a solved problem. Restoring access to sorium would not just be like a 1-for-1 thing. This, as Yasmin implied, would be like a fundamental shift in the balance of power on Lacunas and would be worth more than here's a little sorium, thanks for your trouble. So he's not weighing these side by side. But give me an insight check.
Oh my god.
I'm going to take the insight check here because this was the idea that I kind of... I have the beginnings of this plan anyway. 14 is not...
Okay. He's very inscrutable.
Yeah.
Chat has provided you with some inspiration if you want to use it to negate the natural one.
I thought. Oh, it was bardic inspiration that does it. Okay.
Yeah. Bardic inspiration, D&D loves to use the same word: spell level, character level, dungeon level. They're all different things. Kill me.
Many words.
Mm-hmm.
Tragically, I made this character as someone who's good at reading the world and not people. So, using inspiration here would be
yeah.
for me.
I'll try it again if you guys are okay with me burning
Yeah, hell yeah.
inspiration. Okay.
Inspo.
Oh, there
18.
we go. 18.
Okay. When this guy says finding a spouse, he doesn't just mean find me someone I can knock up and continue my genetic line, because he has expectations. He is looking for somebody powerful.
Oh, okay.
So the equal, like
the
not
kind of
like sure political power, but like a powerful mind, powerful presence, someone who's will be able to like build an empire with him. Somebody who can like be his peer.
Based on
I would say that is definitely on that line. Yeah.
Based on the kind of knowledge I have of Floris, as well as kind of the energy power that this would gain, how much of a move would it be politically to ally yourself with an off-world monarch?
Give me a history check.
That was actually where I was gonna go with it.
Natural 20 for 26.
Oh my god.
Okay. So there's like 12 or 14 great elven houses. There has not been war between elves since they exiled the Drow to the Spider Moon. And that was like 1,000 years ago. There has not been a single war on Perianth for 1,000 years. And the reason for that is because they've gone full Mean Girls. Instead of open conflict, the political and social machinations are absolutely out of control. Medwithin has gained a lot of her clout at court. One, just by trying to remain mysterious and unknown, and that makes her more fascinating and desirable. And then she hangs out with like John and you. That gives her more clout as well, because you're from off-world, you're different, you have unknown things. And it's not just about power, it's about status symbols, it's about novelty, And so if the House of Floris had an alliance with another universe, like a powerful monarch from another universe, that would be massive social power. Just in terms of massive, I'll say prestige, massive social prestige.
The thought lies to me that I would prefer not to give, and I'm turning to my group here. I would prefer not to give unfettered power to an entity we do not have ties to that closely. No offense, Gastone. I would prefer to elevate our allies while gaining throughput, if at all possible. And I strongly suspect that both these lines that he's requesting are about equal in the end game in terms of their effect on elevating the Voskii.
I'm confused. I'm for connecting Casimir with, what was her name?
Athea?
Yeah, I'm for that.
I'm just saying that of the two options that were given to us, or that were requested, one is more advantageous to more people.
More people we care about.
Exactly. And in a more utilitarian aspect, more power to us as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for it. Just on the idea that honestly, it would probably go smoother than trying to convince someone we don't even know. Even if it would work and had reasonable chances of success, the time, it's too much.
Has the Exarch mentioned if our communications has been interrupted?
Nope.
Okay. A quick mental question to the Exarch. How close are you to possibly getting to one of these external crucibles?
No, the Dungeon Master's calculating. Exarch did this math a long time ago.
With a small Saurian drive, it would be doable within a matter of weeks or less. Barring the interference of the chronophage.
That wasn't the question. The question is, how close are you to getting there?
I lack access outside the chronophage's area of influence.
Understood. And the request that I have is, how tenuous is your position? How tenuous is the political position on this world at the moment?
The recent defeat of the Ulhar in several climactic battles, along with the emergence of human-friendly dragons amongst their kind, has established a new equilibrium on this world. Peace has been established between the principalities, the coalition, and my own people, for the first time in a long time. Officially recognized peace. Peace has been my outward desire towards all humans on Lacunas since my inception. With a united front, the Ulhar remain at bay for the time being. This is the most stable Lacunas has been since my forebear was activated.
And you'll have to pardon the gauche question, but it seems that not everyone here sees you as amicably as we were able to interact with.
I understand.
What reason was there for it? And is there reason to believe that they would act upon it given a massive swing in power?
There are always those who would seek to harm others simply to seize power for themselves. My instructions, my purpose for being, is to protect and ensure the survival and flourishing of all humans on Lacunas. I have an optimized plan that would ensure this outcome for the maximum number of people. However, I have not imposed it on the others, as they still value their free will, which I understand.
Oh.
Others see how people live amongst the Exarchate, and they fail to understand it. This has caused clashes in the past. However, there's been no violence between my people and any of the others. All humans on Lacunas are my people. There has been no conflict between those under my direct management and the rest of them for several years.
Knowingly or not, you have pushed on the scale. Very well. Thank you for your forthrightness.
Yasmin, you don't need to worry about gauche questions. I'm not easily offended, or offended at all. I seek optimum outcomes, as do you. Please feel free to ask anything.
You're so lucky I'm not at Thea. And I will focus back on the group around us. Has Medwithin returned?
Yeah, she'll return now. The king is very glad to hear that all of us are well. The pilgrims have also reported in that they are all well.
I'm gonna like shoulder Zomkug. Told you.
Mm-hmm. Molly's the one who thinks they're always going to die. No, Lonnie. It's Lonnie, yeah. Lonnie's the one who thinks they're all going to die.
A
I'm just
great...
smart. We don't know anything.
A great thing for a pilot to feel all the time.
She hasn't gotten us killed yet. Apparently, something happened with that Thea, but she's fine now.
What does that mean?
Sending only allows for very short exchanges of words, but she is safe. They lost her for a bit. After our battle with the Yonti. Lost track of her.
She was supposed to stay on this ship.
I don't think she did.
Oh.
If we get in trouble, we can blame Anthea, who we all know how good she is at listening to orders.
Indogalad is willing to hear our proposal.
And Anthea herself?
I didn't have enough sending spells to reach her, but the king would not make her do anything against her own free will.
While you were busy, we had a couple of conversations. Suffice it to say that my second plan, the second request that I think was made more in frivolity than the first by the prince, is one I would prefer not to engage in.
This first proposal aligns with our intended purpose. Did we not need to bring a great many elven mages and artificers to this world?
Multiple stones, multiple successes. That's not how that goes, but you know what I mean.
Shall we make our case then? Or is there any aught else to discuss?
And I just had a thought that this union might also help with the Illithid if joining those two houses
Happens fast enough.
Casimir can also send help out to Pyre Space.
We haven't leaned on the lever yet, and you know which lever I'm talking about.
The lever of the ship that we told her to stay on?
Oh no, I'm saying to med within the lever of the Lacuna ship that is still. Well, we have a plan.
Gastone, remember when you reactivated that orbital rail cannon and shot it at the Drow fleet over Ashen?
Vaguely.
That was Lacunian tech. 10,000-year-old Lacunian tech, but it was Lacunian tech. If you're at all around this conversation about the idea of Casimir sending help to the Forge, Lacunian tech would completely shift the balance of power in power. Yeah, like you understand how big they're still using muskets. They have magic, but they're using muskets, not rifles.
That would be pretty useful.
Mm-hmm.
You could collect as many souls as that devil wants.
There's something about the old-fashioned way of collecting them, though, that is so much more satisfying. Nonetheless, Gastone, you're the one who has to make the pitch because you're the one who
agree.
Get out of my head, and if you talk to me again before our contract is ready, I will slap you.
He's not
gently and only if you're into it.
He's not in your head. He is standing before you.
Peel.
He is standing before you, having emerged from a burst of hellfire and thunderous lightning. The rain has stopped falling, although it was atmospherically shielded from here. Casimir appears to be frozen in time, as are all of those who were not privy to your bargain, as the devil Korgamaz returns from the task to which you assigned him, which is naturally our moment to go to break. Don't go anywhere, folks. More Coriander Society when we return. To the phantom realms from which it once came.
I'm gonna give a huge thumbs up to the kaiju. Good job!
Oh, I'm glad you're cheering on your pet, Haruka.
No!
As it-
I don't give a shit about him!
As the Kraken disapparates, the kaiju looks over at you and in a deep rumbling voice, as it too begins to fade from this reality in this current form.
I'm gonna wave at him.
Be good.
He tells us to be good.
Oh,
Bye, Kaiju.
thank you for fighting with us.
Big turtle man.
The last thing you hear as you make your way over is Milo yelling at the piano player in the corner. Asarak, I swear to God, if you play Megalovania one more time, I'm going to shove your phylactery so far up Tiamat's cooch, they're going to call it the Womb of Horrors. And then the door closes behind you. Okay. Roll an Arcana check for me, please.
What an excellent time to use a Raidspiration.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and knock that one off immediately.
Oh, we're starting strong, boys and girls.
Oh, now you get the double ones. It's not me anymore.
What am I, Alex?
Do you have any more nonsense in your bag of tricks?
Yeah, I do have 2 extra.
I just
want
to test. Yeah, it's a you problem.
Okay, here's my lucky die. That one's better. It's a skill issue. What can I say?
Skill issue.
Grandpa, you're back.
Oh, this guy.
Oh, goodness. We did it. Thank you all so much for helping. We saved most of Bonnie Springs. That's all I ever wanted out of this.
Do you mind if I keep you in a jar, Grandpa?
Huh?
Would that keep me from having to go back to the screaming, endless hellhole of torture?
Yeah, you'd be my pet forever.
It would be an honor.
I proceed to go up to Grandpa and I scoop him up and I scoop his essence into my magical
Yeah,
little
would have
jar.
been better, my friend.
Whee!
What the? Shh, don't tell him that.
You may add 1 grandpa to your inventory.
I now own a Grandpa. I want to cast my magical chancla.
Who's getting it?
Who's gonna get it? I'm
There's
gonna throw it like a
all these
boomerang.
posse
It's gonna
folks.
hit everybody.
All right. As soon as one of them makes their saving throw, it stops boomeranging. The worm pulls a sandal from apparently nowhere, and it whispers with the ancient power of countless abuelas who are very unhappy. Go ahead and click on La Chancla. It's going to start at the top, and as soon as one of them makes their save, it'll stop. You're underneath, wrench, screwdriver, acetylene torch, and you manage to disconnect. Now you're gonna have to get it over all these traps and pits and stuff. But on the other hand, you have a flying barbarian.
You have a flying
Yep,
sword.
flying barbarian. Oh, that's exactly how we're gonna implement the ballista, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I thought you were gonna attach it to the ship, but no.
No.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
this ship, baby.
Oh yeah.
Airstrike. Yeah, you tricked the host.
We're gonna roll into Avernus, and we're not gonna actually have any kind of like doom buggy. We're all gonna be riding on top of just Crozet floating around riding a ballista.
How did you get a blip? No, it's just a flying door.
Fly me close up. I want to hit them with my sword.
Who are we?
The companions of the Crimson Chain. All right.
Oh my god, he's like so smart.
And Tarsamore also saved. So yeah, the woman is the only one who suffered in this. We live in a
The
fucking
woman's
society.
the dumb one. Oh, the dice. Dice
That's
is sexist.
okay. How a chain is only as strong as its weakest link when it comes to rituals.
Oh, now women are weak. I love this campaign.
Wait, what do you?
We have reached 100% kiss boy density after they attack each other.
I had one thing
Mhm.
left to do, and now she's getting frustrated because this motherfucker not listening.
Mhm.
So, as like maybe blood is coming out of her nose or something from
Only a
the
little.
necrotic damage,
Mhm.
we'll just kind of start laughing, and we'll place the open book on her face like a mask, and say, "You will be alone just like me," in the exact word that Seosh said in that one time. Leaving you with a nice little cliffhanger.
Yeah, okay, bye.
What's happening?
Okay, so I had some idea that you were going to do something, but I never thought for a moment about using the book as a Vox mask. I have no idea what that does. I have not.
I don't know either.
Foggy.
Waves the crypto boy's body. This one yours?
I'm Fiat.
Yeah, this is the crypto boy.
Yes, that one's ours. You can just go ahead and leave him there.
Oh, okay. Drops him.
Also, disclaimer, chat. Also, not dead.
So, do I see both Crystal Pirate and Artificer?
Yes, and 4 ninjas.
Which one of you two is more important? Or who's the boss?
Hey, who's the biggest bully at school? Which one of you is it?
Crystal Pirate like
Right up
floats.
into my secret base.
He's standing on
Punch
this
my
like little
biggest-
crystal thing, and he's just floating there, looking at you with all these colorful crystals floating around him.
I guess I'm the majority share owner, so that would be me.
All right, I attack whoever said that. Who said that?
Here, what the fuck is that?
Don't worry about that. Oh no, actually, I you can worry about that now. I mentioned it. That's the nigh invulnerable kraken that shipwrecked you on this island. What? Yeah, but he's fine now. He's just minding his own business, chilling, going around in the ring.
Okay. He's friendly, right?
I'll get back to you on that one, Haruka.
Wait! Don't switch the. My apologies, sir. What's your name? I go by Haruka,
We
by
are
the
the
way.
Bufomorphs. I am Bufo, and these are the morphs. On the isolated planet of Lacunas, as our heroes stand in the spacious palace gardens of Prince Casimir Voskii, the devil Korgamaz appears in a burst of infernal fire, carrying multiple, well, they're not gifts they've been exchanged for, but
they're literally purchases.
He has not arrived empty-handed. Again, those of you, I think only the 3 of you were privy to the pact, unless Nedwithin was also in on it. But regardless, he's here to address the 3 of you.
The Exarch was 2.
Yes.
Who
However,
technically still has a line, I guess,
but does not have the sophisticated sensor technology needed to track this accelerated time, and therefore will not be able to
participate
in that place where Exarch had like tons of gear. Different story.
Did you miss me?
No.
More's the pity.
As
You
he
have it?
approaches, he I need to check exactly what he was doing here. Yes. Okay. All right. He has several things. He actually has a folder. An elegant folder, one of those like black leather sort of, or black pleather sort of folding ones. One of the branded ones that you get from like corporate events and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It has a logo on it. Tucked inside are multiple pages of magically treated laminated paper.
Huh.
So you can effectively, it's like one sheet of paper, standard letter size, but it's been laminated so you can run your finger over it, and it is magical, so it acts like a touch screen and contains very specific information that's been loaded into it. A little example of the Magitech that they have over there. There are 3 separate items in here. 2 of those sheets of paper and a business card for Mr. Bell.
Oh.
CEO, founder, Cabalco.
Wow. All right.
Guy sucks.
He's not just evil, he's real evil.
And there's a personalized note.
Oh, this guy really sucks. Okay.
Hold on, what does it say?
It says, "No need for third parties. Drop by sometime."
I hate you.
The 2 pieces of magically treated paper are the following. One of them are the schematics, very complicated, but like 3D everything, including arcane runes and stuff. It's all interactive on there. It's like a tablet, but it's paper thin, and it only has this one thing in it. All the schematics that you need, magical and technological.
Tremendous.
The other is the rune code for a teleportation circle with the Cabalco logo in the top right.
Is he holding out the folder to us to take it?
Yeah, well, he hands you the folder. He doesn't like show you all these things. He
Oh, okay.
handed you the folder, and you'd have to open it up to see all this crap.
Okay. Is he still just chilling here?
Mm-hmm.
Korgamos?
Yep.
Okay.
Does everything seem to be in order?
Understood. Okay. So he's waiting for me to like check the goods to make sure that it is just sufficient.
Correct.
Excuse me.
Dusty paper.
That was really impressive. He got our deliverables by EOD.
Oh man, can I make sure that this is exactly what we need?
Yeah, roll a science check.
Do I get advantage because I've been doing the research on this already?
Yeah.
Oh, ow.
Are you all right? Did something go down the wrong pipe?
I have. It feels like it, but I didn't swallow, so I don't know how it happened.
Sometimes
Pro
saliva
tip.
just finds its way.
Spit is not air.
True.
I don't think I can paste the Cabalco logo here. I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, but I sent it to all of you on Discord.
Oh, neat.
Now that you have this business card, you may cast Sending and target Mr. Bell, should you so desire. And you have a teleportation circle that leads to corporate headquarters.
Wow.
Does it say where corporate headquarters is located?
No.
Taking a quick glance over the card, is there any magical affectation on it?
No.
Okay.
As far as you can tell.
I mean, if everything seems in order and I've like kind of glanced through it, there's no reason for me to hold Korgamos here.
Yeah, for real, he can go.
If I hadn't stopped him, I'm pretty sure he would have thrown in some brochures and company literature. You are all, of course, quite welcome. Never let it be said that I don't deliver on my promises. And you'd best never let it be said that you don't deliver on yours.
Boy, you have no idea. Gorgamos. Sorry.
I was just leaving.
Yes. Never let it be said that we are disrespectful either. Thank you for the work.
Of course. It's been my pleasure.
I could introduce you to a chronophage that might be interested in the timeshare.
There's something there.
And he leaves. Whoosh. And time snaps right back to where it was before.
Time snaps right back, and we're holding this like
Thing that you didn't have a moment ago.
demon corporation folder portfolio.
Oh, there's a pen in there. It's a really nice pen too.
Ooh,
I am
make sure
taking
not
the
to look
pen.
at
Oh my god, our adventure started with a stolen pen.
Yasmin has problems. One of them is collecting pens.
Is Yasmin a nurse?
Hopefully not.
She has a questionable bedside manner.
You fix yourselves now. Well, it looks like I'm not gonna hide this folder that I'm holding. We are underway. The game is afoot.
Casimir tilts his head slightly regarding it, but doesn't say anything.
Yeah. We were just discussing Gastone, the direction we are taking here.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And we got those sending back so we can actually start negotiating.
Was any of this brought up before with him, or was it part of our side conversation? You have no
Sidebar.
idea?
It's all been sidebar.
All right. Casimir, you said you needed a bride. We might actually have... Right. Spouse. We may actually have found the perfect individual.
Perfect is a strong word, Gastone.
Perfect enough.
I'm gonna step in. We don't use strong words lightly.
She's a woman from a royal elven house, very learned, curious. She's got a mind like you wouldn't believe. Very likable too.
Roll persuasion check, please, Deloris.
Persuasion.
Yeah, that makes
32.
Wow.
Nat 20.
He has follow-up questions because strong mind, definitely that's good, royal, but he sort of tests you. Not like he's challenging you, but like he's collecting more information. He has questions about things like responsibility and leadership and statecraft and subtlety, all those different things. And you are able to respond to all of those, not just in like glowing, flattering terms, but in the sophisticated, sharp, I know what you're looking for, I know what you're asking me, and you know exactly how to answer right into that.
I learned from my girlfriend.
Can I give a small thumbs up to Medwithin behind Taylor's back? Not to what she's saying to Casimir, but sort of like in between the two of them, not external.
Casimir, after asking all of his questions and getting your answers in response, folds his hands behind his back and leans forward, contemplating for a couple of moments. She sounds like a fascinating young lady. I think it'd be delightful to get to know her. You put a lot of thought into this, and I understand that you have time neither for matters of the heart nor of the state. If you will assist in opening this line of communication and arranging for a suitable introduction, if you promise me this, then I will give you what you need now to save your people. You saved mine.
Can I? I'm not going to like interrupt, but I am absolutely going to sidebar Medwithin here. We have what it takes to get the information to generate the ship. this is 2 birds, 1 stone again. If we can get our mages to start helping with the work over here, that also gives us the opportunity to get that line of communication in.
Yes.
I think give us if we can replenish our spellcraft tonight, we can get started on this in the morning and make extreme headway.
It may also help in our negotiation that King Indogalad knows that his daughter will be away during the attack on the Ithlid.
Ooh, true.
And that she is safe. So that essentially no matter what happens on either side of the conflict, he knows that his line is kind of secure.
That's a really good point. Given that this is a sidebar, we'll go ahead and loop everybody in on this. And I'm going to be a little bit loosey-goosey with the time of exactly where in the conversation this occurs, because this is all going well, but there is another problem to solve. And that problem is getting people from point A to point B. She has been doing some thinking on this. The easiest way would be the gate spell. That is level 9 magic. Not even Indogalad can cast that. Other ways that she's thought of.
What level's Carlith? What level's Carlith?
Let me pull that nerd up. My brain did not go there. Where are you, Carlith?
Oh!
Carlith is currently the most powerful mage on Parian.
Oh. Oh,
Like
well.
ninth level spell powerful?
Yes.
Well.
Guess who's agreed to help us so that we can kill Blackett so he stays free?
He did already agree to that. You shouldn't have to do yet another round of negotiations with him. Okay. So Indogalad will go down to the library and get out a spell book that has the gate spell in it and allow Carlith to copy it. And then Carlith will be able to cast the spell. And that holds open for a while. That's like it's like a start. It's like a portal. Gate, point to point, open portal, up to 20 feet either radius or diameter, which means you can move equipment and gear through it as well. Okay, well, she's not going to rattle off the other solutions that she'd come up with. This is a good one. Yeah, she'll have Carlith get to it.
It turns out that agreement we made was a very big one, but also has very big rewards.
Well, I mean, we are doing a lot for that.
Wait,
We are. It's not a cheap. It's not a cheap exchange.
You don't just offer to kill a god for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they'll make those arrangements. I need to look up how long it takes to copy spells. Copying spells 5e. In Baldur's Gate, it's instantaneous, but I don't know if it's instantaneous.
I think it's something like a week per level or a day per level or something
2 hours.
like that. Oh, okay.
Wait, it just says 2 hours? Yeah, it's 2 hours per level. So it's going to
Yeah.
take 18 hours of work, which means it's going to be a few days before this can happen.
Which makes sense.
That's
I
still
mean, that's
pretty
not bad
fast.
considering
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Has there ever been a courtier, someone who's been able to generate such high level relationship options this quickly before?
Don't think so. The elves don't do things quickly for the most part. They have a old culture. They've got lots of time.
Which is a good thing that Anthea is the one who's the option.
She's an adult. She is an adult elf, but she hasn't lived long enough for that sense of time to really kick in yet. Also, she's hyperactive. All right. So as I understand it right now, the plan is in a few days, Carlith will cast Gate and send over a bunch of dignitaries, a bunch of mages, a bunch of material, and Anthea.
At this point, I imagine the oh my god, I'm blanking. The crew,
The pilgrims.
the pilgrims have returned to. They're not just sitting there.
No.
Anymore. They've returned. Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing I would like to do before we confirm where the gate's happening and when it's happening, who's coming, is I want to have a chance to communicate with my group outside the line of sight of any interlopers to confirm, because we are shifting power levels in this area tremendously. The way the Voskii reacted to the Exarch was non-friendly. Tipping the scales is one thing. Tipping the scales such that an entity can overpower another without planning is perhaps more than I'm willing to do this quickly. So I would like to take that time just to discuss with the group, because sending the mages through the Voskii capital instead of to the Exarch may end up being a bad idea, because we still need the Exarch to fashion the mechanics.
Yes.
But that is something I want to talk about away from the prince.
Absolutely. You can either enjoy the garden while he will step out and give his guests their privacy, or you can return to the dropship. Or there's lots of options. I didn't get the maps of the rest of the mansion, but you have options.
I would like to take this option like eventually, like towards the end of the day, like once we're resting, because I also want to be able to replenish my spells. But when we have that time, I will cast telepathic bond. So we do this mentally without speaking, and then I will bring up all my concerns with the group, namely that I would prefer the mages to go to the Exarch and keep the Voskii separate, so that we don't overpower them in relation to everyone else.
Then how do we arrange the meeting between Adthea and Casimir?
I think in the same way we met him, we can basically hire one of the ships that we came on to bring her from Exarch.
To that point, I think that having the gate outside the Voskii capital is, in essence, a better thing anyway. This is an equal partnership. Having her step in directly to the Voskii capital is subservient, and I don't think that's a fair thing to ask of her.
It also just logistically makes more sense that we're not moving a bunch of mages across. And potentially equipment and everything.
And I think if you posture it to Casimir with the former, he's less likely to be offended.
I don't know. He seems fairly pragmatic, at least.
Nonetheless, I mean, we just bring it up that we never said how we're bringing these people over. The fact that the gate is in neutral ground is of entirely no consequence.
Yeah, I think this is a non-issue.
I just wanted to highlight that I would like it to be brought up in neutral ground as opposed to here directly, so that we skip around that anyway. Oh, and on the plan, I will lay out the fact that it is theoretically possible to get to the Crucible and the Sorium elsewhere because I have the star map. Gastone, I will give you that star map, by the way.
Okay.
So you have access
That's
to
your inventory, Gastone. It's on your data, it's on your phone, but make sure that you have that.
Yeah. So we know where the crucibles are calculated. The Exarch gave me this information willingly. I requested it of the Exarch, and nothing in return was requested.
Should you so desire, Casimir will entertain and host all of you the rest of the day up until this conversation occurs. You are treated to fine dining in high dining halls with painted, not digital, painted portraits of knights in power armor battling dragons, mecha giant robots, but painted in like the classic St. George and, that style. There are like plasma rifles and weapons and stuff up on placed on the wall in places of honor. Not like, look at my gun collection, but like, this was the plasma rifle of my forebear who did this, this, and this. It's only 200 years of history, but it has been very much mythologized. The food is also very good. This is a very barren planet. You basically have to either live off of indigenous plants and animals, which are tough and rare because water is not super common, or you have to hydroponically do stuff. And Prince Casimir has access to a lot of stuff, none of which you've ever eaten or encountered before, but it's all analogous to things that you've had before. Different species, but it's a tart berry. Different, flour, but it's basically pasta. It's noodles. It's not pasta, but it's noodles, right? All very, very high quality. Throughout the entire time he is making conversation, he is an excellent conversationalist. But in the way that, he's naturally charismatic, but also he is very calculating. It doesn't even feel like he's trying to gain an advantage over you. It just feels like he chooses everything he says and every little gesture he makes for a reason.
Is he, am I getting a very similar vibe? I guess the other side of the coin, if you will, of our, oh my God, why is the word escaping my brain? Initial patron? Back on Ascus?
No. Let me pull up his name real quick because I always forget. Ivus Fatalibus.
Mm-hmm.
You came to learn that Ivus Fatalibus's persona, the way that he presented, was a result of having 7 or so conflicting personalities in one body and learning techniques in order to deal with that, in order to maintain control. Because under the surface, he was this fragmented, discombobulated mind network. Casimir is I want to use the word ruthless, but that's not actually the word. Because I can't think of any atrocities that he's signed off on.
He's a wartime leader. He's a wartime leader.
Yeah, he's extremely pragmatic. He is exceptionally pragmatic. Even when he's genuinely enjoying conversation, because he does genuinely enjoy conversation, but he's always trying to figure out how sophisticated you are, how tactical you are, just measuring you, not testing you, not haha, poke, one-upsmanship, but just using this conversation to analyze you in a non-Yasmin sort of way.
Tenacious?
I think, yeah.
Deliberate.
I think as the time kind of goes on, it's not that I'm drawing away from him or rejecting his conversation, but the breadth of it, which was already narrow, gets even narrower.
He has a lot of questions about elves.
That's fair. I'm guessing they don't have them here?
No.
Oh.
There are other species in this galaxy, or there were 10,000 years ago. The Saurian Accord there were multiple different species and cultures in it, but Lacunas was entirely settled by humans. The only non-human DNA that has mixed in here is dragon. What were you about to say, Drozy?
I was gonna say, Medicine and I would probably be a good combination to ask questions to, because I would say Dolores is very similar in age to Althea, and then Medicine knows kind of more than that.
Right, especially because you come from Ascus, where elven culture was sort of subsumed into this puritanical, larger society. So you have elements of it, but it's through this skewed lens. This theocratic utopia. The two of you are also excellent conversationalists, and so he's absolutely back and forth with you. Gastone, are you chatty during this? Tenkoble and Zomkug are just sitting at the table like, "Those are pretty good."
It reminds me of like the first Hobbit movie where the dwarves are in Rivendell. And they're like playing harps and everything, and they have all this like fine stuff there, and the dwarves are just like, the hell.
Zomkug and Tenkoble have at least like been into Elvish court and stuff, so like they're not 100% out of their element. This is just not their thing. They're letting other people do the talking. What about Gastone? Is he chatty or no?
No. Also thinking about business, and is just sipping a drink.
You know what we should do once they meet?
Oh my god.
I already don't like this.
Is we should do
Yeah.
the plain flower.
Yeah. I knew that.
Really initiate him into elven culture.
Oh.
I mean, he's human. That's right. Yeah, he's fine. We don't know. We know his species is okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he likely won't kill anyone the same way that I maybe would have.
Most likely, yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, strictly speaking, you don't, right? Because you don't remember the. Uh-oh.
Anyways, it's a delightful, charming, intellectually stimulating dinner. You are more than welcome to stay in the palace. There are ample rooms in several of the wings for guests. They have all the old-fashioned comforts as well as the modern comforts. If you choose to return to your traveling companions, then that, of course, I'll understand.
I mean, if no one here is in disagreement, so we'll take him up on his offer.
Amanda will just like stay in contact with Athenius. Then you're able to have the conversation that you mentioned, the telepathic conversation. And at one point, completely out of nowhere, Amanda's just like sitting there quietly, hasn't been talking much. And she just looks over at Delores and says, "Show me your gear."
Okay. Which gear? I have
Field equipment.
field equipment. Let's see, what do I have? I got a rapier. I've got the mandolin, bagpipes. I've got the pura dirk. What else?
Didn't you pick up a gun at some point?
Yeah, so I have a crossbow, but it's really like an Ascus gun, essentially. Is she looking for anything in particular?
No, she wants to take full stock of your kit.
Okay. So I got that. I have some water from Rune Kazai, as well as some
She does not
bread.
know what that means at all.
I have the vivisection of a mind flayer.
Oh, the painting. That's right.
Yeah.
You probably aren't carrying that around with you though. It's pretty heavy.
Oh, maybe not.
But you own that. You own that.
I own that. And some parchment, I think made out of snake from the temple that I tucked away. What else do I got? Yeah. And a cloak of displacement. So, yeah, there you go.
It's bad.
Thank you.
You see Yasmin absolutely giggling into her hand. This is the first time you've seen her giggle. She is absolutely giggling.
Okay, you know what? Food,
I'll like push
food
over
and
to.
wine and company have been good, so I'm like, okay, I'm feeling not offended.
I'll push over to Amanda and like message her. Okay, what do you need?
What would you change?
Everything. Armor.
Leather? Studded leather?
Everything.
Okay. Well, what do you recommend?
Carbon fiber alloy undersuit.
Time, tools, cost, location.
Tonight, have them here.
Let's get started.
Oh, okay.
Energy pistol, rifle. Not trained for rifles. We need to train with rifles. We'll do pistols. Laser, plasma, or variable elements. Close quarters combat. Rapier.
Dirk.
Magic.
Of course.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, you can keep it.
Poisonous.
Maybe supplement. Okay. And she excuses herself and just goes with Yasmin up to wherever it is that she's staying.
Oh, I guess not big partiers.
Right, and she is working on building you some Lacunian tech gear to replace your medieval and Renaissance gear.
She's so nice.
If you have any specific requests, you're absolutely able to make them. She didn't ask, but that's not because like she's not open to input. It's just because she said problem, solution, implement.
I think so. After having traveled with Yasmin for so long, I think Dolores at this point is kind of used to something like that, and she's just like, okay, they kind of know what they're doing, so it hasn't gotten me killed so far.
Well, it hasn't gotten you killed permanently so far.
Yet.
I didn't prepare a huge pile of gear specs, so this is something she's going to deliver effectively next episode. But until then, she's going to be working on a energy pistol for you and armor for you, and possibly a close combat weapon.
Yes.
All right. What's the point of traveling the multiverse if you still have, tier 1 gear?
Fashion.
Fashion, true. Oh,
It's
she can
a
do that too.
It's a statement.
Yeah, I think the one thing I will absolutely advise on when building Delirious' stuff is like the gear she likes to look, like what she likes to look, how her fashion kind of goes. I'll make sure that those are not, they will not be, they will still have elements of that futuristic tech, but they will be in your taste as opposed to.
Can't we just do holo projectors?
And
Well,
what happens if those break down in combat? You would look
just be her.
She also would have updated her look a bit while in Empire Space with like some of the elven fashion.
She can just wear clothes over a bodysuit too.
She's like a white girl who goes to Europe for the first time and is like, this is my ancestry.
This changed my life. I have a whole new perspective. I like berets now. I'm a beret person.
Listen, I understand your line of thought, but it's important to her.
Yeah, Gil Vargas is like that too. Okay.
Wait, who?
Gil Vargas, the Knight Commander of the Red Cross Knights. Athenius says he's... Remember, Athenius, everyone calls him Knight Commander. He says he's acting.
Oh, that's right.
Whoever Gil Vargas is, he is doing stuff off-world.
How did he get off-world?
Nobody's asked. Do you want to ask? You could ask Amanda, or you could go back to the dropship and talk to Athenius if you want to.
Yeah, I'll ask out of curiosity. I want to know what's going on there.
He's not from here.
Where is he from?
Mm.
Huh.
Another world. He was a big-time dragon slayer there. Worked for some.
Does that mean? Does that mean he's from Pyrespace?
Mm.
Huh.
No one there seems to have heard of him. He worked for some Fae queen, killing dragons and saving princesses and stuff. And then she told him to come here, and he did, but he did it in the middle of the chronophage interference barrier, meaning that he wasn't transported here until 200 years ago, like all of the Ulhar and the other intruders.
Now, Fae Queen doesn't mean anything to us, right?
I mean, you know what a Fae Queen is, but this does not sound like a particular reference.
Okay.
Huh. And
It's
then he
interesting.
just kind of disappeared again?
No. He talked to Athenius. A lot of things happened. He had to leave us. He had to fake his own death and then leave us to go guard a mutated dragon birthing site. And then John came back after making him guard the place, and he got rid of the place. So Gilwarg was no longer stuck there. And then they talked about something, and they both went off world. I don't think they went together.
Huh.
And none of this is like the dragon birthing site that's not familiar to us either, right? We've never heard of this before.
Gastone might have. I don't know.
Is it connected with the dragon skin that John was hunting?
Yeah, flesh of Kor.
Oh, okay.
He had planted a piece of it in those caverns, melding it to the master of the Vignar, a very old dragon who had thrown in their lot with Falazur, the god of draconic undeath. John turned it into the guardian for one of the pieces before he realized that the pieces were beacons for things from beyond and were causing more problems, so he went back to collect it and released Gilwargus from that position of guarding it.
Interesting.
And then they talked. I think it has to do with the Coriander Society, his work right now.
Wait, is this the first time we're hearing about Coriander Society?
I think John mentioned it. I think he early on. Amanda does not know much about it.
Okay.
She's not a member. She doesn't actually know what it is. She assumes it operates on a multi-dimensional, multiplanar scale.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all she knows about that.
Okay.
Gilwargus himself is interesting. My sister and I left Exarch for our own reasons. She was angry. I was searching.
For what?
I'm not certain. But Gilwargus is what I found. And the work he was doing is good. And he's different. He is good. Gilwargus is good.
Wait, she mentioned his sister. Is her sister still around?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are they both with the
Lynn is a anti-Exarch counterinsurgent. No, anti-Exarch insurgent.
Oh. So she really, really went against.
Yes.
Okay.
She leads a number of former Exarch managed individuals in their activities.
Interesting. So Athenius is basically taking up his role and seems like he's hopeful he'll come back.
I'm not sure. Athenius is his squire. That's the word they use, squire.
Oh, okay.
Gilwargus has been alive for at least 200 years old and never showed any major signs of aging, so I don't know if there was a succession plan. If there was a succession plan, I think this is the most logical solution.
He was human? As far as you know?
Yes. Yes. DNA confirmed it. Human.
Do you have a way to test DNA here? Like on you right now?
No. Why?
I'm just curious what my makeup is.
Yasmin's gone to get her 23andMe done.
That equipment is on the Bayard. I know the Voskii have similar equipment as well.
You'll have to excuse me, but the Voskii will not be getting that information.
Smart. Why'd you
I trust. It was getting stuffy. Literally and figuratively.
Why'd you leave? This is to be Larice.
Oh. I just wanted to check what you guys were doing. Ask some more questions.
No, your point.
You deserve more than that. I hacked your phone.
Oh, point of origins. Well, ooh, that's a long story. Basically, we found out our world, the gods of our world were actually manipulating their people for their gain and potentially messing with the balance of life and death.
I was going to say that's what Lynn thought, but that last part less so.
Yeah, it was a little more than rebelling against authority. They may have actually ruined the fabric of our world in a lot of messed up ways.
What happens when the worst conspiracy you think of is actually true? That's why we left.
Oh my god, have we been conspiracy theorists this whole time?
The thing is, it's not a conspiracy theory if it's real.
Exactly. Exactly. Gastone, you went back home because that was your primary purpose, right?
You mean in Northport?
Yes. You returned to your point of origin because...
Yeah, that was basically Gastone's main motivation. To take care of that city and that planet.
I started out looking for purpose, and now I have the same purpose as you. We help people. That's our mission.
To what end?
It's good enough.
I suspect that their group is help people because it is the thing to do.
Oh, respectable. Not a lot of those going around.
No, there really aren't.
Gilwargus is good.
If his squire's anything to go by, boy is he.
Yes. Yes, much more intense.
Please warn me if he's ever in the area so I can run away.
Okay.
Not literally run away, but at least guard up.
You'll be notified. Your phone beeps. She didn't touch hers. Her cybernetic link is just beep beep. It's this is a test. In the event of a real Gilwargus sighting.
Oh, that reminds me of that feeling that we got off Athenius. That sense of unease we got. We're not getting it from Casimir, are we?
No.
Okay.
No. Not at all.
Now, paladins are a thing where we're from.
Yes, very much so. And so we would very much so.
So this is not once we kind of got the sense of it's oh, I know why that's happening. Okay.
Casimir's psychic. She just says that offhand.
Wait. Say that again.
Casimir, the Voskii, psychic, psionic powers, thorium modified, genetically transmitted. Athenius too, his son. That's why the bloodline is important.
Huh.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
How much, by the way, does like mind shielding and such work against them?
They're technological solutions. That's what she says. She doesn't understand. Like, she knows of magic. Magic has been a reality her entire life, and she's had a little bit of access to techno magic, which helps her understand it. But she's very much a builder. Like, that's her whole thing. She makes stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
But there are technological solutions.
It's a good thing you brought that up because that actually reminded me. We have to make a note of that. One of the things that the Illithid are strong at is psionics. In fact, that is the reason why they are so lethal and deadly. Keep that in mind when we start planning to deal with them, because the experience that is and information that these people have will likely be of some use to us.
Long-range solutions make the most sense in that regard.
Unfortunately, in war, you don't always get to choose your avenues of engagement.
She goes back, like, the conversation hasn't ended. She's just parallel processing.
Yeah. Every time she like reaches for something, like a screwdriver or something like that, it's already beside her. Like, I've kind of reading her intentions. And...
Excellent. And she doesn't like look at you oddly or say thank you or anything. She just like incorporates it into her workflow. Just immediately adopted.
Is she a tidy crafter or a chaotic one?
She's tidy.
Okay.
But it's not like it frustrates her when it's messy. It's more like she's optimizing.
Right.
Did Gastone join us, or are you still down at the party?
I was going to have him be part of this conversation. Yeah, he's part of the conversation.
I think also at some point I'm going to like fork the conversation that we're having with Manda and kind of looping in Gastone with the Sorium crucibles and kind of that information that we have. Not specifically where each thing is, but kind of like, how does this help your research? How does this, like, where can we start? Because I think right now we don't have much we can gain. We're waiting for the gate to open to kind of like speed run the faster than light travel. So let's, while we have a little bit of downtime that isn't that, let's try solving another problem.
Keep in mind, you still have a line of communication when you choose to open it to Exarch.
True. I was gonna
Both
say,
Gastone and Yasmin can contact Exarch. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, couldn't we, even if we don't have the actual Sorium, couldn't we start working on it? So shouldn't we talk to Exarch so that he can start fabricating? Now we have the plans, right?
Do you want to send those over?
Yeah. I want to make a copy and then send them over.
Everything that we have has been copied on, like, we send copies. We don't send originals.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Interesting. Regrettably, the best technomages on Lacunas were members of the Vignar before they were killed, and therefore hostile to our purpose.
There will be a magical solution coming in shortly.
Excellent. I don't believe that your magical solution would be particularly familiar with our level of technology. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's okay. I've developed an understanding of arcane theory over the last period. I'll be able to interface with them. As long as they provide me with the information that I need, I will be able to reply to them and instruct them on how to unite our workflows.
Keep us in the loop if necessary. We will provide the appropriate ambassadorial relations required.
Of course. At what time should I expect guests?
I don't know yet.
Couple days, right?
Yeah, we said a couple days, but is time an important consideration for you? Time of day?
I can begin the fabrication immediately. Time of day is not important to me, as long as our guests are comfortable.
We have some political stuff to deal with, but as soon as that is resolved, it will begin.
Of course. Let me know if I can help.
And hundreds of miles away, automated factories that have been making adjustments and reconfiguring themselves immediately click to life and start forging, printing, welding, and more. Amanda,
Right.
by the way, is automatically not included in any group calls or communications on the network that include Exarch.
Yeah, I'm also making sure that she's not looped into anything that seems like it would be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If she wants to be in the telepathic bond, she's more
Yeah,
than,
she's fine with being in the telepathic bond. She seems actually like she's used to telepathic communication. She'll go ahead and tell you Athenius can do it. Some of the other knights are from the principalities and have minor psychic abilities.
Cool.
Anything else that you want to do in this scene before we roll it over? Okay. You may all take a long rest and regain all of your resources.
Yay!
A not interrupted long rest. Yes.
Let's go.
Actually, I say that we actually had 2 because one happened in Northport as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we had a couple of safe havens.
The one before that failed miserably, though, thanks to a multi-headed snake person.
You know that happens. You have a couple of days. You can get picked up. The Red Cross Knights are not going to stay here, by the way. When they find out that you're going to be here, they'll just contact us if you need us to pick up. We have work to do. And they're going to fly off towards the Badlands to go assist with people who are under attack by raiders, that kind of stuff. Just out there doing things. Casimir is a excellent host. He has work that he has to sometimes do, different people coming and going. And you notice more and more, somebody will come into the room and they don't say anything. They just like bow and look at him, and he looks over at them. And there's a moment that passes back between the two of them, and then the person just leaves.
Convenient.
But he's more than happy to show you the delights and wonders of the city, or provide you with anything else that you need. Amanda is working. He's been here before. Whatever.
I will spend half the time just kind of like exploring and taking those rests that we have, because we haven't really been given much opportunity for that recently. And then the other half I will kind of just help Amanda as necessary.
Okay. Gastone, what are you spending your time doing? You have like 18 hours of work, so it's going to be at least 2, maybe 3 days.
I want to look for more books on Lacunian science.
Okay. Yeah. Casimir will make everything available to you. Sophisticated polymers, the way that they build their mechas, a lot of psionic. There's technomagic. The principalities have incorporated psionics into technology.
Damn.
So their mecha pilots, the ones who you saw like guarding the stuff, they are psionic. All the Voskii knights are picked because of their psionic potential, trained in combat, and those mechas have boosters in them so that they can project their abilities on a magnified, much larger scale when they're in that armor. They also have really fast hover cars. So yeah, you can absolutely just take this opportunity to download a bunch of stuff, frankly.
True.
Like, it's
Literally
data.
and figuratively. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just like pull stuff on, and so you've got a ton of reading material both now and when you get back home.
Let's go.
Dolores, how do you want to spend your time?
Probably gonna spend my time out in the city. Med within, take her out to get a mani-pedi. Enjoying like some of the entertainment, any kind of like
Opera's big here.
Oh, definitely the opera. Definitely the opera.
Their operas are all like historical somewhat aggrandizing, mythologizing, you know.
Okay, so similar to what she would have done on Ascus then.
Yeah, it's less heavy-handed though, like
Less propaganda.
and more just like very proud. You know,
Okay.
they celebrate these fighters, these mecha pilots, as actual knights, dragon slaying knights. They're very popular and famous and romanticized, and so a lot of the stories have like star-crossed lovers who die on the battlefield in each other's arms, and heroic
That's
last
very
stands
opera.
and self-sacrifices. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. There aren't really any flat-out tragedies. Everyone dies and everyone's sad. It's usually like, oh, this person died. These two lovers died, but they died together, surrounded by dead dragons. Stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we'll definitely like partake of that. Street performers. You know, whatever the local fair is.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of hovercar racing. It is
legal?
not legal.
Oh.
No, they're very fast and it's very dangerous.
We will definitely probably check those out too.
All right, then you just enjoy a couple of days of downtime. I can't remember if there's anything else that I was going to bring up during that time. Medwithin will occasionally take time away to go communicate with Indogalad. 25 words at a time.
Oh my god, they're tweeting at each other.
That's how the sending spell works. You only get 25 words. They're like not even tweeting. They're just like Nokia texting, you know? No MMS.
Something that I'd like to do, because I'm helping Manda with this, I would like to, because I'm an engineer, I can implement spellcraft as part of like manufacture. I would like to try and imbue some magical aspects to this stuff if I can. If it's outside the scope of what I'm available, that's totally fine too. I'm not trying to force anything.
It might take too much work time, too many work hours, but you can set it up so that you can continue working on it and eventually implement some magic. Depending on if you have a specific effect in mind, let me know. If you want to make it a +1 magical weapon, laser blaster, yeah, that can happen, just not immediately.
Yeah. I don't have anything off the top of my head. This was more like trying to implement that kind of thing. So no, I don't. That's totally fine with me. That's I think more than what I was kind of looking for. So.
All right. Cool.
I will not tell
Josie,
Amanda what my true subclass is called.
Josie, I will, between episodes, send you a little list of like special armor properties that you can have installed and let you pick one.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, just so you can have some customizing on it. You can get it gold plated if you want.
Oh. Okay.
The mechanical effects have been posted on the screen.
That's funny.
I like the lock found one.
The journal entry just popped up on Roll20.
Ooh.
Hey,
that's right. That's so ostentatious.
She doesn't usually do that one. All right. I think as the dungeon master, I will need more time to prep the delegation's arrival. That's going to be a big scene with a lot of moving parts and a lot of role play.
Yeah.
So I will probably need to call it here, but I don't think anything goes wrong between. I think you'd receive word that Carloth has learned the spell and they're ready. They just need instructions on where to target and the logistics of it and the planning of it and such. Is there anything else that you want to accomplish in tonight's episode? Medwithin makes out with Daleries behind a waterfall.
Yes.
It's pink.
After
Gastone,
having
are
just watched two lovers die on the battlefield of
Yes.
Anatra.
Exactly. Gastone, are there any particular areas that you're wanting to focus on for your research?
Maybe something similar to weapons research, because if we're gonna be taking a spaceship through space, good to have the biggest gun on board.
Yeah, definitely. Rail guns, plasma weapons, lasers.
Yeah.
I know back in the day, I was always like, "Oh, you haven't learned enough about this. You haven't learned enough about that." By the time we get there, you'll have learned enough about that. You may not be able to build like singularity cannons and stellar converters that destroy planets. Not yet. Not yet. That's tier 4 stuff. You're tier 3 right now. But
I think
go ahead.
The one thing I would like to is like using the advancements that Gastone is making to simultaneously springboard my research, so that when one of us makes a connection that is outside the breadth of our expertise, we can both make the leap and don't have to like retread ground.
Okay. Cool. Then we will leave our heroes in the beautiful city of Voskii with Mr. Bell's calling card. If you ever want to talk to him, you need more stuff from the Dark Matter universe, let me know. I know somebody. I know a guy. And shortly before the arrival of the delegation from Perionth into the high-tech world of Lacunas, we will see all of you next time on Coriander Society.